Night Witches is a PBTA game about women of the famous Night Witches, and happens to be extremely homosexual with one another. In this Yuri role-playing game, you take the role of the pilots of the titular Night Witches, and the reasons why the depression part is in this title is because this is offensively PBTA. You have your standard moves, you have your information moves, you have your playbook moves, and ta-da! They even reduced most of the actual pitch of the game down to a few steps which feel less like flying a suicide matchbox with a bomb in it and more about playing a half-baked PBTA game like it is. There really is nothing more to say about this game. It's offensively PBTA from a very draconian period of PBTA games. Is there anything more you want? Is there anything more you need? It's Night Witches. It just kind of exists these days. In this horror movie, you take the role of a handful of our titular protagonists and meat bags, and of course, the killer themselves. This is a rotating game with various characters forced into confronting a monster that wants to rip their face off. First things first though, is this a TTRPG? No, this is a party game. The most important aspect is writing out quite a few of these disposable assets, characters, to join our situation. Our camp counselors, innocent students, or research staff, or Walmart employees forced into a problem. Most of these characters will begin forming relationships in their first scene, namely if they are friends, rivals, or screwing one another. Whoever doesn't get a relationship during the intro phase is going to get horribly dismembered immediately. The main game is the players taking the role of a character and draw a card for themselves in each of their relationships. Then the killer selects a target and flips the top of the deck. If the character can beat the killer, they're alive. If they can't, they are violently murdered. This is, of course, with different characters being able to hinder your efforts, assist you, or do both if you're having sex. Play continues until it's down to a 1v1 between our final girl and the monster themselves, and the player with the most dead characters is actually going to be narrating the final confrontation. That's it. Is it good? Is it bad? Depends on your group and would be better for a LARP than anything long term. Being alone is equal part cathartic in a vague sense of nothingness. We Are Abandoned is a role-playing game about finding out who the hell you are after being clinically alone. Everyone has a blank character sheet, and that's going to be filling up with these three categories. The game itself, the GM is going to roll 1d10 against a player's 1d6. Player manages to beat that, they win! If they don't, and well, they won't most of the time, they're going to fail catastrophically and build suffering. That's actually everything. It's a free game, luckily. Most of the game is about defining those three aspects of their being. Fight is a flat modifier to beat up the problem. Flee is your number of points to run away from the problem, of course. A character may be a man who fights, they are hunted and lost everything, which would be a fight +4 and flee 2. However, this is also a defined character at the end of the third act, in which their defined character will need to make a check or just have to deal with the outcome of their suffering. Most of these endings are not positive in any way. They're desperate, frantic, dangerous even, with possibility of even doing everything right ending poorly for you. The more you suffer, the more likely your actual defined ending is going to be a lot worse though. But that kind of comes with the territory, right? And that was Rapid Fire number 13. Kind of a short one, really, but at the end of the day, these games don't really have much to talk about, and I kind of wanted to talk about each of them for slightly different reasons. If you like what I do here, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and many thanks to the patrons as always, though. Godspeed, good luck, and remember, we're all gonna make it.